Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the Key on Millions.co. Here is my media feed. Here is my profile so that you will know it's me. And here is my merchandise for this time. Now, we just rolled out some new merchandise and we rolled out a new logo, everybody. So I'm going to let y'all take 15 seconds to look at this brand new logo that we have. And later on this year, you will be able to purchase this clothing. So we are going through a trial period right now as far as for a launch for the merchandise. So, all in all, these will be delivered right to your door. No charges for shipping and handling. So, the topic at hand is the NBA. I'm going to be talking about the NBA today. I want to finish out the week on NBA coverage, and then next week we will pick right back up where we left off with March Madness, and we will be doing NBA coverage all throughout next week. So for the first game, we had the Orlando Magic and Charlotte Hornets. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. The Charlotte Hornets, they have been on a roll the past month and a half. And as we can see, when it comes to the Eastern Conference, Orlando or the Charlotte Hornets are in the play-in tournament, and basically teams 7 through 9 in the East, they all are tied when it comes to wins. Basically 6 through 9, everybody has 38 wins, and Orlando has 31 losses. Atlanta has 31 losses, and Miami and Philadelphia have 32. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room between 6 and 9, because anybody that goes on a losing streak between 6 and 9 in the Eastern Conference, you could either be the host of a playoff series, or you could be playing in the play-in tournament, having to fight to get into the playoffs by winning one or two play-in tournament games. So last night, what I saw with the Orlando Magic and Charlotte Hornets, Pablo Banchero, he had a good game. He had 20 points in 28 minutes. Tristan da Silvia, 4 points, 22 minutes. Goga Batiste, 4 points, 19 minutes. Desmond Bain, 24 points in 26 minutes. Jalen Suggs, 9 points in 22 minutes. Bench production for the Orlando Magic, Mortez Wagner, 5 points in 19 minutes. Jamal Cain, 15 points in 18 minutes. Noah Penda, 8 points in 21 minutes. Colin Castleton, 2 points in 10 minutes. Javen Carter, 11 points, 19 minutes. Alex Morales, 2 points in 12 minutes. Jet Howard, 5 points in 16 minutes. Jace Richardson, 2 points in 7 minutes. Charlotte Hornets starters. Miles Bridges, 11 points in 23 minutes. Mausa Dabet, 3 points in 24 minutes. Brandon Miller, 25 points in 28 minutes. LaMelo Ball, 20 points in 20 minutes. Con Knipple, 17 points in 25 minutes. Bench production for the Charlotte Hornets. Grant Williams, 0 points in 17 minutes. Xavier Tillman, 0 points in 2 minutes. Ryan Kali Brenner, 13 points in 24 minutes. Pat Covington, 0 points in 7 minutes. Kobe White, 27 points in 23 minutes. Josh Green, 5 points in 18 minutes. Trey Mann, 3 points in 7 minutes. Simon James, 6 points in 22 minutes. Now, for the Charlotte Hornets, I can say this is the first time in a while where they've been in the playoff conversation. 12 years ago in 2014, they made the playoffs, but they got swept in the playoffs against the Miami Heat. Now we see where it's a totally different team, totally different era. And during that time, the Charlotte Hornets, they were in the midst of the Kemba Walker, Al Jefferson era. Now they are in the midst of the LaMelo Ball era. So let's see if the Charlotte Hornets can somehow make it to the playoffs, because if everything pans out the way it's going to pan out, Charlotte Hornets, they will be facing the Orlando Magic in the play-in tournament. And who's to say now, Orlando and Charlotte, that game could go either way in the play-in tournament. And last night, the game really could have went either way too, because the first quarter, it was back and forth. But when you get to the third quarter and late in the fourth quarter, as you can see right now, Charlotte Hornets, they built themselves up a lead and they did not relinquish it. With 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they were up by 27. Now they are up by 25. And you can see where basically Orlando, they were just trying to, keep everybody from getting injured, because you do not want to be down in a game like this and then all of a sudden one of your best players get injured. That's one thing you don't want. So this was like a minor bump in the road, and from where I predicted the Orlando Magic to be at the start of the season, I expected the Orlando Magic to be not where they are currently at. I expected them to be 4 or 5, not 7. And I already said earlier on in the season where I expected the Boston Celtics, to be in the play-in tournament spot. But as we can see, they have exceeded everybody's expectations, and now they are the de facto best team in the East with Cade Cunningham. Prayers up for Cade Cunningham. It was reported yesterday that he had a collapsed lung and he will miss a significant amount of time with the Pistons. So prayers up for Cade Cunningham. But back to the Magic and Hornets, a pretty interesting game. I would not be surprised if either one of those teams win their play-in tournament game and then have to face the Detroit Pistons or the Boston Celtics. Now, and I do mean if Charlotte wins the play-in tournament versus the Magic, and Charlotte plays the Detroit Pistons, who will be the favorite in that series? Because you have Charlotte over the past month and a half that has been on a roll, and the Detroit Pistons, they aren't at full strength. Outside of Cade Cunningham, they still have 3 players that are still nursing injuries. So the Pistons, I don't think the Pistons, they haven't been 100% since, I believe, December. They haven't been 100% since then. So a lot of things that have developed over the past 24 to 36 hours, And there's a lot more things that are going to be developing over the next 2 to 3 weeks because we only have, let's say, most of the teams, they've already played 78 to, 69 to 60, 68 to 69 games. And there's only, at maximum, only 12 to 13 games left for every NBA team. So, all in all, that last night, first 8 minutes of last night's game between the Magic and the Hornets was very interesting, but it started to be a blowout, and that's all I have to say for the Charlotte Hornets and the Orlando Magic. The next game I'm going to cover is the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. Now, Los Angeles Lakers, I don't know how long I'm going to be on the Los Angeles Lakers, but y'all can see where the Los Angeles Lakers are at, right? They are third right now in the West. And you know, there have been a lot of people throughout the entirety of the season talking about the Lakers when it comes to their coaching staff led by J.J. Redick. He doesn't know how to coach. But there's one thing that I said last month. I said this last month. I said that Luka, he is a ball. He has to be ball dominant. He has to have the ball in his hands. Austin Reeves, he's the second player, and LeBron is a third player. He is the most valuable third option in NBA history. And like I was saying, have Luka bring the ball up the floor. Then have Austin Reeves bring the ball up the floor. And at times, you can have LeBron bring the ball up the floor. And ever since I said that, and then you hear J.J. Redick saying that for the Lakers to be at full strength, for the Lakers to be at full strength, LeBron has to be the third option. And you can see where this is what I've been saying since the start of the season. LeBron don't have to be a ball dominant player like he was in the past because he has Luka and Austin Reeves. Now Austin Reeves, he can give you a good 30 footer here and there and a good, 30-point game here and there. But defensively for the Lakers, what are they gonna do defensively? This is what I'm talking about. We already know that the Lakers can light up the scoreboard. They lit up the scoreboard versus the Denver Nuggets, and they lit up the scoreboard versus the Houston Rockets. They lit up the scoreboard versus the Miami Heat last night. They did. But now you get to see what type of team the Los Angeles Lakers are. And as you can see this, look at this. LeBron, 19 points in 38 minutes. DeAndre Ayton, 6 points in 29 minutes. Marcus Smart, 13 points in 28 minutes. Luka Doncic, he had a 60-piece last night. 60 points in 38 minutes. Austin Reeves, 18 points in 40 minutes. Bench production for the Lakers. Rui Hachimura, 7 points in 18 minutes. Jake LaRivia, 5 points in 18 minutes. Jackson Hayes, 6 points in 19 minutes. Luke Kennard, 0 points in 13 minutes. And everybody else that is on the list did not play because of coach's decision. Now for the Miami Heat, Simone Fecho, 7 points, 19 minutes. Bam Adebayo, 28 points in 38 minutes. Davion Mitchell, 16 points in 32 minutes. Tyler Hero, 21 points in 33 minutes. Pelle Larsson, 11 points in 33 minutes. Khalil Ware, 14 points in 21 minutes. Norman Powell, 20 points in 33 minutes. Drew Smith, 2 points in 16 minutes. Karaspas Jaconis, 7 points in 16 minutes. and all these other players. Andrew Wiggins didn't play because of a left toe. Myron Garner didn't play because of coach's decision. Jamie Watkins Jr. did not play because of left hip injury, and Nikola Vucevic did not play because of coach's decision. Now, one thing about the Heat is the Heat, they are at the number 8 spot in the East right now. So they would be facing the Philadelphia 76ers in the play-in tournament. They would be. Now we get to a point where the Miami Heat and the 76ers, they are spitting images of each other, because you have players from both teams that are, still injured, or if they are back, they are not really at 100%. And for the 76ers, it's been like that throughout the entirety of the season. I could say for the Philadelphia 76ers, with the first 8 weeks of the season, you had Joel Embiid. It seemed like that he was on an offensive run the first 8 weeks of the season, and then it just seems like for the past 2.5 months he's had injuries here and there, and he has never had a season where he's played where he's been injury free, because these players, they don't play every game like they used to because of load management. But it's been, dare I say, it's been 9 years or 10 years that Joel Embiid has been in the NBA, and he hasn't played more than 65 games. Just once he's played 65 games, and that's including the playoffs. He didn't, and when I say 65 games, that doesn't mean that he played 65 games in the regular season, because the time that Joel Embiid made the playoffs, well, the 76ers made the playoffs last time they made it, he was also injured for about 12 to 15 games too, and then came back for the playoffs and played those 2 playoff series. So I'm pretty sure everybody gets what I'm saying. We got to see it in order to believe it with the 76ers. And with the Miami Heat, we got to see it in order to believe it with the Miami Heat. The Lakers, we got to see it in order to believe it. And as you can see now, clutch plays when it comes to the Lakers, they've came up in the clutch, because with 3 minutes left, up by 9, if this was earlier on in the season, the Lakers would have squandered this lead, but they didn't. Under 3 minutes left, and it's back down to 4. Look at this. Lakers, that's why I say the Lakers, you can't just be giving up baskets in the playoffs. You can't just be trading baskets. Like I said, Luka had 60. That was 3 of his 60 last night. And 3 from Tyler Hero. Back down to a 5-point game. And this was pretty much it, with a couple of baskets from the Lakers. And here is his 60. And he made both of them and ended up with a 60. As you can see, the bench, that's Luka's first game with the Lakers where he scored 60 or more. First 60-point game as a Laker, Luka Doncic. I got to give him a hand clap, because we just witnessed history last night. Every scorer who has ever been, every top-notch scorer who has been on the Lakers, they've had at least a 50 or a 60-point game. And Luka Doncic, he had a 60-point game last night. So congratulations to Luka Doncic. Congratulations to the Lakers when it comes to winning their 7th consecutive game. and they are at the third spot right now. Let's see if they can finish with that third spot, because right now, if the season ended today and the playoffs started next week, the Lakers would be facing the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets just last week. So, let's see how these last 10 to 12 games are going to shape up. The next game I'm going to cover is the Phoenix Suns and the San Antonio Spurs. Now, Phoenix Suns, they misplayed their hand in the last few seconds of this game, because the Phoenix Suns, they were supposed to win this game. But before I get into that, I want to get into these statistics. Oso Agudaro, 15 points, 34 minutes. Devin Booker, 22 points, 34 minutes. Jordan Goodwin, 5 points, 35 minutes. Colin Gillespie, 24 points in 34 minutes. Jalen Green, 17 points in 34 minutes. Bench production, Ryan Dunn, 5 points in 20 minutes. Rasheer Fleming, 8 points in 8 points in 20 minutes. Kama Mullah, 4 points in 14 minutes. Amir Coffey, 6 minutes, 0 points. Jamari Boa, 0 points in 9 minutes. And for San Antonio, Harrison Barnes, 6 points, 23 minutes. Julian Champagne, 14 points in 34 minutes. Victor Wembanyama, 34 points in 35 minutes. De'Aaron Fox, 23 points in 33 minutes. Devin Vassell, 12 points in 33 minutes. Keldon Johnson, 6 points in 20 minutes. Carter Bryant, 0 points in 10 minutes. Luke Cornett, 1 point in 15 minutes. Jordan McLaughlin, 0 points in 10 minutes. Dylan Harper, 5 points in 26 minutes. Kelly Olynyk, Lindy Waters III, Bismack Biyombo, and Mason Plumlee did not play because of coach's decision. Here is the team statistics. Since this game was so close, I'm surprised that this game didn't go into overtime, because this game was so close, and the largest lead of this game was 11 points when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, and largest lead for the Spurs was 6 points. But this is what I've been saying throughout the entirety of the season when it comes to the Spurs. This is what I said last season after the Spurs were eliminated. I said that the Spurs, I'm like, give them another year, 2 years, they will be winning close games and making it to the playoffs. And they made it to the playoffs after last night's win. And you can see where I'm going to just go to the last 2 minutes, because that's what basically everybody is talking about this morning, the last 2 minutes. Now, as you can see, hold on, stop it right here. As you can see, Phoenix is up by 3 points with under 30 seconds left. Now, if the Phoenix Suns, if they get a stop right here and go down and score, it's pretty much game over. But the Phoenix Suns, they did not do that. They let De'Aaron Fox get all the way to the basket, get it back down to 1. Phoenix calls a timeout. They had to shoot free throws, and this guy, he missed one and made one. Well, he missed both of them. So the guy for the Phoenix Suns missed both of the free throws, and Victor Wembanyama, he took it all the way down to the last shot, and, well, not all the way down to the last second, but it was with 1.1 left. So no timeouts left for the Suns. They had to go full court, and they did not make it. See, this is why I say free throws, and that's a prime example of what I've been saying all throughout the season. What can hurt you in the NBA is free throws, bad shot selection, and turnovers down the stretch. Now, what hurt the Phoenix Suns last night was missed free throws and bad shot selection down the stretch, and also bad defensive schematics. That's what I'm going to say, schematics, because if I'm De'Aaron Fox, I would do the same thing, because everybody knows that's where De'Aaron Fox, that's his spot on the floor. He's going to take it to the basket. Now, if I was the Phoenix Suns, I would have fouled De'Aaron Fox. Now, even though he may have made the and one, I would have fouled him. But nowadays, when it comes to the NBA, you really don't have anybody fouling nobody when it comes to the basket. If you do, it's going to be, almost a flagrant. Somebody that's coming down the floor full speed ahead, and you foul them and then they fall to the floor. It could be a flagrant foul. So, as of now, last night, the Spurs clinched the playoff spot with their win over the Phoenix Suns, while the Phoenix Suns are basically on the outside looking in. They are one of the top 7 teams right now, but the top 6 only have been are the favorites to win their first round playoff series. So the Phoenix Suns, they have been at the 7th spot throughout the entirety of the season, and I don't see them moving up anymore. I don't, because unless Denver has a astronomical collapse and Houston has an astronomical collapse, I don't see the Phoenix Suns getting to that 4th or 5th spot, let alone 3, because the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns, they have a 6-game lead with 14 games left to play. With 12 games left to play, and I don't see much movement happening. But this is the West we are talking about. Nothing is set in stone until the last day of the regular season, which is April 14th. So, all in all, it was a very, very entertaining, I'm going to say it was a very, very entertaining NBA slate for a Thursday night. We all know that March Madness is still going on. I am going to be talking about March Madness when we come back on Monday, but I had to get a little bit more of NBA coverage out just before the weekend started, because we all know that most people are going to be focused on March Madness throughout the entirety of this weekend. So with that, those are my reactions to last night's NBA Thursday night slate of games. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the Key on Millions.co. We have rolled out new merchandise, and in the next few months we will be doing a launch of our new merchandise. So here is my profile so that you will know it's me. Here is my media feed. And remember, everybody, one last thing. The Key is always on time.